Buenos días. Hola, hola. How are you doing? Grateful yogis near and far. Yep, we can see the front of the mat, the back of the mat, and the surfboards. Okay. With that theme in mind, I want to welcome you to Monday Morning Vinyasa. My name is Chrissy, in case this might be your first class with me, you never know. And this yoga class is going to be a Vinyasa style class, just like always, which means, what does Vinyasa mean? We're connecting our breath with our movement, or our movement with our breath. As we inhale, we lift our arms up. As we exhale, we let our arms come down. And that obviously gets a little more complex as we move through class, but that's a very simple concept, is as you move your body, you're syncing your movements with your breath. And the exhale brings them down. So this Vinyasa class is going to be, in my mind, designed for surfing. But if you partake in any sort of outdoor physical activity, sport, if you want to call it a sport. I don't really think of myself as sporty, so I don't like to think of it as a sport. But sport, activity, exercise, movement, whatever you want to call it, if you do that with your body on a regular basis anyway, you're going to probably benefit from this practice. It's for mobility. It's for flexibility, same kind of idea as mobility, but joint mobility, muscle flexibility, and then all of the other benefits that we get from yoga anyways. So the class will be, let me see if it's time to start yet. I still have 1.5 minutes. The class will be 60 minutes of Vinyasa yoga dedicated to this concept that we use our bodies in all sorts of ways, even if it's like hard manual labor, shoveling snow, construction work, any job where you have to be on your feet or sitting in a chair, like these extreme things we do with our body for long periods of time. Taking an hour of movement and breath can make a huge difference. Taking 20 minutes, check out the 20-minute classes. 30 minutes, check out the mini series. 45 minutes, check out Caribbean Flow. So we have all these classes and ways and avenues that you can keep your body feeling good, for lack of a better word. Following that feel good. And I'll just leave it at that, because now we're coming up on the 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern hour, which is when this class starts. And with that in mind, I want to start seated today. And if you're not comfortable sitting on the floor, you can sit in a chair, or you could lay down on your back. You don't have to cross your legs at all. You can have your legs straight in front of you with something under your knees, whatever feels good. And because the reason I'm dedicating it to surfing is because I've been surfing a lot. And yoga is like so nice to do with the surfing, even if it is just that 20 minutes of basically like rolling around on the floor kind of movement, or what we're doing today, 60 minutes of Vinyasa yoga. So a dedication to honoring yourself and what feels good is basically the theme of today's class. And that's what we're going to focus on. So the first thing we want to feel good about is the breath. As you're seated, you can take your hands either palms facing down or palms facing up on your knees, really wherever you feel like your shoulders and your elbows can just relax away from the ears. And you can lengthen the back of the neck, lifting the top of the head straight up to the sky. Draw your lower abdominals inwards and upwards, that's Uddiyana Bandha, and then lift your pelvic floor away from the ground below you gently. Just a gentle lift in and up from pelvic floor to belly button, Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. And then if you're comfortable, you can close the eyes. If you'd like to keep the eyes open, maybe gazing towards the floor in front of you so you don't have to move your head. Your head stays tall on top of your spine, and your eyes just softly rest somewhere in front of the tip of the nose towards the floor. And the first thing we're getting comfortable with is the breath. So Ujjayi pranayama, in and out of the nose. If you know what that is, begin now. If you need a little bit of information about Ujjayi, you're breathing deeply in and out of your nose. That's the first step. And as you breathe in and out of your nose, you're trying to make this gentle whispering or ocean-like sound at the back of your throat. That sound you hear when you put a seashell to your ear, a gentle vibration, a steady intention of moving the breath with control in through the nose to fill the lungs, to fill the rib cage, feeling that expansion. And then as you exhale, feeling the rib cage return to its natural resting position as you sound on the exhale again like the ocean. In and out of the nose. Take a few more rounds of Ujjayi pranayama. The rib cage expands, the heart center expands while the lower abdominals stay still, drawing inwards and upwards. Shoulders are soft. 3 more breaths here at your own pace. Remembering the goal of this breath is to have it really feel good. Listening to the sound can help focus the mind. Lengthen the inhale, lengthen the exhale. And when you do feel ready, you might tuck the chin down to the chest. Gently open the eyes if they are closed. And then bring the gaze forward. Nice. We're going to inhale, reach the hands up. So this is how I mentioned we're doing Vinyasa. The inhale reaches the hands up. Very simple. Exhale, flip the palms out and down. We're going to do that just one more time. Inhale, hands come up. Maybe even look up at the thumbs. Palms come together, fingertips touch. As you exhale, the hands flip over, opening down. Nice. Now we're going to inhale, lift the hands up, but we're going to twist to the left side. So bringing the right hand down towards the left knee, left hand landing behind the back, somewhere comfortable, breathing in and out of the nose, holding here for 5 Ujjayi breaths, twisting from the base of the spine, using Mula Bandha. Maybe twisting all the way through the eyes. One more breath here. Inhale, reach the hands up. Maybe look up at your thumbs. Hands together, twist the other way. Left hand to right knee, gazing over the right shoulder and breathing in and out of the nose. Find what feels good here. Breathe into those spaces. Relax the jaw, soften the face. Next, inhale, reach the hands up. Maybe look up at the thumbs. And then as you exhale, bring your hands back down by your sides. So we're going to cross over to hands and knees. And again, like, what do you mean surfing? You know, really, this is what I'm doing on what I'm calling a day off from a lot of other physical activity, a way to move the body in like a restorative flow, if you will. But you could totally do it before or after surfing. If you have a full hour, it would work really nice before or after a surf sesh as well. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We'll take cat and cow. Another way to sync our movement with our breath, as you inhale, you're lifting the chest, looking forward, filling the lungs. And then as you exhale, reversing that motion, tucking the tailbone down towards the ground, bringing the chin to the chest and lifting mid-back towards the sky. Inhale the opposite way. This is called cow. And then exhaling to reverse that motion. You can roll through the spine in whatever way feels good. Have fun with it. Just try to link the length of your movement into that cow shape with the inhale. Nice, long, slow, and steady. And then lengthening in the opposite direction as you exhale. The whole time you're moving, you're also breathing. Take a few more breaths, a few more movements, see what feels good. And then when you feel ready on the next exhale, tuck your toes underneath your heels and lift your hips into a downward facing dog. So pressing into the hands, the head can hang heavy, maybe shake it out, yes and no. Maybe bend one knee and then the other. Start to really feel the whole body. So inhaling and exhaling from tips of toes to tips of fingers. Breathing always into the rib cage and always keeping the pelvic floor drawing inwards and upwards. Mula bandha, lower abdominals drawing in to support the low back. Breath moving into the rib cage and heart center, in and out of the nose. One more breath here. We'll move into some sun salutations. So as you inhale, look forward at your thumbs, walk or hop your feet. As you exhale, fold your nose down towards your knees. Inhale, rise up. Remember, circling the hands wide, maybe looking up at the thumbs. Now we're standing. Exhale, hands down by the sides. Another big circle with the arms. So really circle the arms if it feels good. Inhale, reach up through the fingertips. Look at the thumbs. As you exhale, fold forward, belly towards the spine. As you hinge at the hips, you can bend the knees, nose towards your knees. Inhale, look forward, long spine. Bend the knees as much as you need to walk or hop the feet through plank and bend the elbows, chaturanga coming to the floor. Inhale, lift the chest, top the feet on the floor. Exhale, lift the hips, up and back, down dog. You can stay in down dog, child's pose, or do some cat-cow movements here, your choice. The headset is extra slippery today, or maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the slippery one. Bringing mind back anytime it wanders away. Following the feel good. Next, inhale, look at your thumbs, walk or hop your feet to your hands. As you exhale, nose towards your knees, the knees can be bent. Inhale, rise up all the way through the fingertips, looking at the thumbs, take your time. Exhale, slow motion, circle the arms down by the sides. Samasthiti. One more Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, forward fold, hands coming to the floor. Fingers are wide already. As you inhale, open the heart. Heart stays open as you exhale to walk or hop back, bending the elbows. Elbows squeeze in to promote open chest as you inhale. Shoulders stay soft. As you exhale, down dog or child's pose for 5 breaths. Try to focus on every inhale being full, every exhale being complete. Notice where the mind wanders and welcome it back to this practice, trying to find the spaces that feel good today. When you feel ready, using an inhale to look forward, walk or hop your feet to your hands. Exhale, fold down, nose towards your own knees. Inhale, rising up, hands come up over the head, looking at the thumbs. Exhale, hands down by your sides. Samasthiti. Check your feet hip width or even wider than hip width. And then move your hips side to side. Let your arms just hang in their shoulder sockets. So I'm not putting any effort in my arms, just in the legs, the feet, the core. Feeling that belly towards the spine as it steers the hips side to side. Breathing deeply in and out of the nose. I talk about the arms being like noodles, spaghetti noodles, just moving because they're attached to the rest of the body. Whatever feels good for speed, you can bend the knees. And then really gently slowing yourself down, bringing yourself to a center space. And you want both of your feet to face straight forward, parallel to each other or touching one another. Once you see your right toes are facing forward, we're going to come on to just standing on the right foot by lifting the left foot off of the ground. And you can interlace your fingers to start here around that left knee or underneath the hamstring if that's more comfortable. Try to soften the shoulders and just breathe, gazing forward, finding balance on one foot first. So if you need to release, just bringing that left foot down to the floor and then entering again if you feel ready. We're going to play here for just a few more breaths. So if you feel balanced, maybe take your left hand to your hip, just holding left knee with right hand, and then try to twist, bringing the gaze towards the left side or maybe over the left shoulder. If it feels really nice and balanced, you could even reach back through that left hand, opening the chest. So you see my palm facing the screen here. I'm opening the chest, the thumb faces up. Feels really nice. Final step, if you have the flexibility in the hamstring, is straightening out that left leg, holding the calf, or even reaching for that left foot with the right hand. Your choice here, breathing in and out of the nose, lifting in and up that pelvic floor. Following the feel good and always breathing. So we're going to gently, wherever we are, release the hold on the left foot, but try to keep it floating, and then spin your torso forward if it's not facing forward already. Step way back onto that left foot, and then bring both hands down to the floor. So in a little supported lunge here, we're just going to move forward and back. Let's actually go ahead and drop down onto the left knee. You can double up your mat or put a cushion under the knee if you like, stretching the hips down towards the floor. Watch that right knee. I know mine's tracking forward, so if that doesn't feel good, don't do it. Just go as far as you're comfortable. But we're stretching into this left hip, keeping the hands on the floor for support. And then from here, we're going to shift the hips back, bringing the left hip over the left knee. Once it's there, stretch that right foot forward as far as it wants to go. Maybe flex the heel. Find somewhere you can inhale to look forward, and then exhale, bring the head down, dropping the head towards the right leg, lining up the spine over that right leg, and breathing deeply in and out of the nose. So the right leg does not have to be straight. The foot does not have to be flexed. You can have the toes pointed as well here. If your right leg doesn't straighten out all the way, don't worry about it. Just find what feels good right here, right now, and breathe into those spaces. Bring the mind back to the practice. From here, inhaling to gaze forward, bend into the right knee, bringing the right knee this time directly over that right ankle. So adjust however you need to. Nice, healthy place for that right knee to be, holding it there, tucking the toes behind you to lift that back knee, and then pivot the left foot flat to the floor. So the left toes point to the left side. We're going to lift for one more posture here, bringing right shoulder or right elbow, onto right knee for extended side angle, opening the chest towards the side of the room, and then stretching the left arm over the head, gazing at left elbow or palm of left hand. Extended side angle or Baddha Konasana. If you like any other variations, you can take them, stretching long through the left side body. Breathe here, in and out of the nose. Find that feel good. You can really feel the extension through the rib cage on the left side body here. With the next exhale, bring both hands down to frame that right foot in front and step left foot forward, bringing the feet hip width apart underneath the hips, parallel to one another. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, let it hang. You might hold opposite elbows. You might rock side to side, shake the head around. Whatever feels good. Take some free movement here, breathing in and out of the nose, focusing on that gentle drawing in and up that Mula Bandha. And then let's do a slow motion roll to stand. First, just letting the arms hang heavy like spaghetti again, drawing in at the lower abdominals to start the roll first through the tailbone, through the low back, breathing deeply, rolling through the lower or middle back, mid to upper back. As the upper back straightens out, the shoulders can roll back and the head comes up last. Nice. Check that your feet are facing forward. We're now going to stand on our left foot. So the left toes point straight ahead. That's where our gaze goes to follow. And first coming onto the right big toe or lifting the right big toe off of the floor. You can interlace the fingers around that right knee or hamstring, your choice, breathing in and out of the nose. We'll flow through side two. So remember this idea of vinyasa, just always keeping the breath moving, trying not to hold or pause the breath. And then maybe when you can, linking movements with breath. First movement, optional. Right hand to right hip. Now we have left hand on left knee. Second movement, optional, twist to the right, gazing towards the side or even over the right shoulder. Don't forget to move with your breath. Maybe extend right hand back, opening through the palm, through the fingertips, through the chest. Maybe extend right foot forward, holding on to calf, ankle, or foot. Wherever you are, focusing on the breath. And then bringing the torso forward and floating the right foot back. So tilting forward, drawing in at the core, reaching slow motion back through the right foot, and then planting the hands down and moving around a little bit here. Forward and back, just a few times. And then when you feel good, we'll drop down onto the right knee, extra cushion if you need it, top of the right foot down, and then the hips sink just towards the floor. So a really gentle stretch, or you can go deeper if you feel ready, whatever feels good, dropping the hips towards the floor, but always drawing in and up at Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor muscles pulling up to support the dropping and opening of the hips safely with control. I love yoga, I love surfing. And then from here, we shift it back, bringing the right hip over the right knee and keeping that left knee bent if you need to, or straightening out the left leg, flexing the foot or pointing the toes. Wherever you're at, use an inhale to look forward, lengthening through the spine. Fold forward as you exhale, head hangs towards the left knee, trying to relax the neck, deepen the breath, focus on the feel good. And if you can't find something that feels good about the posture, maybe that's a good sign to modify and change something. Find a way to really feel good in every shape we meet today and all days, even as some shapes might be easier than others, right? Right. We're going to inhale, looking forward, come flat onto the left foot in front, tucking the back toes to lift the back knee. So now we're stacking left knee over left ankle, flattening the right foot down out to an angle, and then left elbow props on left knee as you open the hips, chest, and side body for side angle on side two. Right hand reaching long, the stretches through that right side body as you breathe. Again, if you like any other variation, you can take it. A nice standing sequence here to warm up our bodies. With the next exhale, reaching both hands down, framing that left foot, and we'll step back to plank this time, coming all the way down onto the belly, making a little pillow underneath the head, the forehead with the hands, and then bending the knees and tick-tocking the feet side to side. So this should be a really nice release through the legs, massaging the quads, opening the hips. Can feel nice as a gentle little twist in the low back here too. Check in with your breath. The intention, the theme of the class, just following what feels good. Giving yourself time and space to get there. Okie dokie. Release both feet to the floor. Tops of the feet come down. Draw the hands back by the chest. Elbows squeeze in. Inhale, lift the chest as high as you're comfortable. Exhale back to a child's pose. Hips over heels. The big toes can touch as the knees come wide. Any variation you like, I'll remind you of reverse prayer, palms together, thumbs reaching towards the top of the neck or the back of the head. Breathing in and out of the nose here. A few breaths once again to turn inwards, to check in. Perhaps the breath feels like it grows deeper as you practice, or if it feels like it becomes shallow and challenging, take a few moments to release and relax, collect the breath, and come back to the practice. So hands reaching forward if they're not there already. We're going to inhale our way up to hands and knees. So meeting tabletop again, lifting the right hand up towards the sky, roll out your wrist, open and close your right hand from a fist to a wide open finger space. And then when you feel ready, twist that right arm underneath the left, threading the needle, rolling onto the right shoulder, the right side of the head. Left hand can stay exactly where it is in front of the face. You can wrap it behind your low back, or you can stretch the left arm forward over the head. Palm flat on the floor. I like my right palm to face the sky. You can play around with it, face down, face up. Same thing, you can play around with that left hand as much as you want. Breathing in and out of the nose. Find Mula Bandha at the base of the spine. What feels good about this posture? For me, it's that gentle kind of like pressing that comes into the shoulder and the head here. There's a tiny bit of pressure, not a lot of weight dumping into the shoulder and the neck, but a tiny bit there that just feels nice, like a little gentle massage. But it could be the twist in the spine that feels best for you. It could be the deepness of the breath. It could be something completely different. Take your left hand flat on the floor in front of your face and gently press your way back up to your hands and your knees. We're going to transition directly into side two. So once you feel ready, lift the left hand up, roll out your wrist, open and close your fingers. And then twist when you're ready, maybe following an exhale as you twist through under the right arm. The left hand reaches to the right side, and the right hand either stays by the face over the head or wraps behind the low back. Threading the needle on side two. Listen to your body. Notice what feels good on this side. Appreciating any differences that you notice side to side through the body. Differences are natural, so what can we learn about ourselves through noticing differences and being appreciative and accepting of differences, using them as information to find better balance and better understanding in our own bodies, rather than using them as sources of judgment or opinion, right? Perfect. The right hand in front of the face, gently lift yourself back up to your hands and your knees, transitioning to downward facing dog when you're ready. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, allow the head to hang heavy, and breathe in and out of the nose. Fingers spread wide. Notice your breath. And then as you inhale, lift up onto your tippy toes and stay there for a breath. Tippy toe down dog, stretching through the toes, the arches of the feet, giving them a little bit of love. And then bringing the knees down to the ground, but bring the knees together. Keep the toes tucked, but now bring the feet together. So your ankles or your heels are touching, toes tucked under, and sit back on top of your heels. If this doesn't feel good, you can switch to any sort of kneeling that does feel good. We're gonna sit on the heels if possible. And then with the arms, once you find a seat here, interlace the fingers and press the palms forward. As you press the palms forward, optional, you can think about rounding the spine like a cat towards the wall behind you, chin towards your chest, breathing here for a breath. And then second option would be lifting the hands, opening the chest and taking a little back bend like a cow spine here, maybe even gazing up, breathing, being gentle, soften the shoulders. And then bringing yourself back through a neutral spine, releasing the hands, releasing the feet, maybe tap the tops of the feet on the floor. Now bring the knees hip width apart and come to kneeling for Ustrasana. So we want our knees underneath our hips underneath our shoulders. That's how we're gonna start, like we're standing on our knees. Hands come first to the low back with the palms near the sacrum, and the feet are tops of the feet down. Imagine the tops of the feet gently pressing into the mat. So you're using the tops of the feet already to stabilize this posture. Belly towards the spine, make sure you're breathing, stay here, elbows squeezing back, just stay stacked for now. Note to self, try not to poke out your ribs too much. And then from here, totally optional if you want to go further. You're already opening here through the chest. That's beautiful. Breathing in and out of the nose, finding expansion in the ribs. If you want a little bit more, start to take a back bend, leaning back through the shoulders, pressing forward slightly, gently through the hips. Always drawing in at the belly. Maybe the hands slide down towards the hamstrings, the backs of the knees, or the heels. Your choice. Breathe deeply in and out of the nose wherever you are. Follow the feel good. Waiting for an inhale, notice the tops of the feet pressing lightly into the mat again, and lift yourself up as you breathe in. Sit down onto your heels for a child's pose as you breathe out. Hands can this time come by the feet in child's pose if that feels good, or you can keep the hands stretched out overhead. Breathing in and out of the nose. From here, gazing forward, come up to sitting on the heels and just walk or slide or fly your hips forward to seated. We're going to move through a little seated sequence now. So feet flex forward. This is similar to a traditional standing forward fold, but we're going to do it sitting down. So the feet stay active, flexing through the heels, Mula Bandha. Slowly hinge forward at the hips to start. Hands can walk down the legs or the floor. Eventually, they'll find the feet. You can take an inhale, looking forward wherever you are. Open your chest. Exhale, gently fold forward. If it feels good to round the spine and let the head hang, you're welcome to do that. Listen to your body. Listen to your breath. We'll stay here for a little bit of time, softening the shoulders, lengthening the spine, feeling good. One more deep breath here. And then on your next inhale, lift the gaze, look forward, open the heart. Bring the hands behind the body enough that you can lean back flat onto the palms. Walk your feet so that they're flat on the floor, hip width apart. We're going to lift the hips to a reverse tabletop. If you prefer not to lift the hips, try just lifting the chest. If lifting the hips feels good, it starts at the tailbone, scooping the tailbone forward and up, and then letting the head fall back only if it feels good. Breathe deeply wherever you are, in and out of the nose. Feel hands and feet on the floor, no matter which variation you've chosen. Grounding down while opening up. And then exhaling, the hips come down to the floor, and then the elbows come down under the shoulders. So here we're going to have a little bit of fun with core work. Take it at your own pace. If you feel like this leaning on your elbows doesn't feel good in your shoulders or your neck, you can lay flat down onto the floor all the way onto your back. And just keep your hands by your sides. Option one, tic-tac the knees side to side. A nice massage through the glutes and the low back, as well as that twisting. We're drawing in and up at the lower abdominals, breathing in and out of the nose. spreading lightly through the fingers, pressing lightly, just gently making contact with the floor below through the palms. And then next option would be to come through center and lift the feet up. You could keep them still. My knees are right over my hips here. This is nice, knees together. Or you can gently try that side to side with the feet lifted off of the floor. It will require some more abdominal work, so keep the belly drawing in and up, not stressing through the shoulders or the neck. If it starts to come into your shoulders and your neck, you need to do less. That's a pretty good rule for everything in life. If it starts to come into your shoulders and your neck, start to do a little bit less. Okay, final option is one of my all-time favorites. I used to call it Mermaid Tail, but whatever kind of tail you want. You can lift your feet up. You could just do this, lifting the feet and lowering the feet, or you can lift the feet, lower them down towards the ground as the legs are straight. Before they touch the ground, bring the knees to the chest and do it again. So making these little circles, you don't have to go all the way low to the floor. You could allow them to drop like a quarter of the way and then bend the knees, listen to your body. And then if you're still with me on these big circles, we do them in the opposite direction. So once the knees are over the hips again, this is like safety, or feet on the floor, safety. You can still use your abdominals here. If you want to reverse the circles, feet hover as the legs straighten out in front of you, and then they lift up, inhaling. Exhaling towards the floor, inhaling towards the sky. These are so hard. I like a little fire in the middle of class. Let's do one more. But not too much fire, because this is off day yoga. If we're in the surfing, athletic, work, any sort of human mobility world. So gently from here, lay all the way down onto your back, keeping the feet flat on the floor. Bring your arms into a cactus shape, elbows bent, palms facing up, and just let your knees fall over to one side from where they are, slowly. Doesn't matter which side, we're just gonna go to the other side next. I let my knees go to the right side. So I'm gonna look over my left shoulder. If it feels good, you can turn your head the opposite direction of your knees. Breathe deeply in and out of the nose. Think of this as a chance to take a restorative posture. So if it feels like too much, you can kind of straighten your legs out a little bit so the knees aren't so bent, and that might be less of a twist. You could keep the gaze towards the ceiling, whatever feels good. And then gently bring the knees through center so the feet are flat. This is starting position, and then knees just fall slowly, gently, with control to the other side. Maybe twist the neck if it feels good, gazing in the opposite direction. Over the shoulder, again, you can modify this twist, any angle in the knees, any twist in the spine that feels good. What feels restorative, bringing you back to your body, back to the feel good. The fullness of the breath on both inhale and exhale. And then gently bringing the knees to center, the feet still flat on the floor here. What we'll do is very gently bend the knees towards the chest. Give the knees a nice hug. You can wrap the hands or the arms around the knees or behind the knees, whatever feels good. Rock side to side or stay nice and still. I like to lift and lower my head one time just to lengthen the back of the neck, and then leave the head back on the floor. And you could stay here hugging the knees to the chest, or you could start to rock and roll on the spine, rounding the back of the spine, chin towards the chest, taking a few forward and backward rolls on the spine, nice and gentle, listening to your body, keeping the breath moving. If you're still reclined on the back, either rolling over to the side or taking one roll, we're all going to come up to seated, bringing the knees wide, feet together for Baddha Konasana. Same mechanics as our last forward fold. So we start with a neutral spine, feet only as close as you're comfortable. You can always support under the knees with blocks, blankets, or pillows. And you can stay here massaging your feet for the next 10 breaths, or you can start to hinge forward at the hips. Eventually, it might feel good to round out through the spine, allowing the head to hang, your choice. Wherever you end up, continue with the breath. Enjoying every moment of every inhale, every moment of every exhale. Hands can stay by the feet or reach out overhead towards the floor, at the knees, whatever feels good. Freedom of movement in every posture, deepness of the breath, focus in the mind, listening to the sound of the breath, focusing on the feel-good spaces in the body. Monday, fun day. Very gently, you can rise if you are in a forward fold. We're going to move through a vinyasa all the way to standing. So gently begin by bringing the knees back together, crossing the ankles, and coming forward to a high plank position or low plank. I'm going to do low plank with my knees down. From there, we're going to use an exhale, elbows bend, coming to the floor. Inhale, lift the chest, feet are hip width or wider in up dog. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths here. Let the head hang heavy. Next, inhale, look forward, add your thumbs, walk or hop your feet to your hands. As you exhale, drop nose towards your own knees. Inhale, rise up, reach up, hands coming over the head. Exhale, stand, hands coming by the side, Samasthiti. Still stretching through the fingertips. Inhale, reach hands high, look up. Exhale, forward fold, hands towards the floor, head hangs heavy. Inhale, looking up, long spine. Exhale, walk or hop back through plank, bending the elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, lift the chest, up dog or cobra. Exhale, back your choice, down dog or child's pose for just 3 breaths. Focusing on nothing but the fullness of the inhale, the fullness of the exhale. If you aren't there already, find your way to down dog for transition. We're going to move into a pigeon pose here. So inhaling the right foot up towards the sky. You can spend a little time here rolling out the ankle, knee, and hip, whatever feels good. 3-legged dog. Remember the breath and bandhas, and when you feel ready, bringing the right knee forward towards the chest and then turning right knee to right side, crossing the foot in front of the body as you slide back for pigeon, whatever feels good. So any angle in the front knee is fine. You can sit on top of a block or pillow if you don't feel comfortable coming close to the floor with the hips. Breathing in and out of the nose. We'll stay for just a little while here. So any variations are welcome. Remembering our focus on the feel good. So trying to make this posture as we stay deeply breathing, feel as good as absolutely possible. My teacher, David Williams, believes that that is the key to a lifelong yoga practice, one that feels good because you want to keep coming back to it because you're focusing on making your body feel good. This can be super challenging sometimes when the mind gets in the way, when our thoughts get in our way, when life gets in the way. But the goal of the practice is to, in fact, nourish ourselves physically, mentally, and spiritually. Holding that in mind as you continue to breathe for just a few more moments here. We'll stay for one more minute because it feels so good. So focusing the mind, if it wandered, bring it back to the breath, back to the body. Using the next 1 or 2 breaths to prepare your body for an exit strategy. So nice and slowly finding your way out of this posture. You could come back into a vinyasa through chaturanga, child's pose, or down dog, or a combination of all 3 options. A few breaths to transition. And we'll all meet in down dog, no rush to get there. We're using down dog just to transition into the same posture on side 2. So left leg comes high first. 3-legged dog when you're ready. Maybe move that left leg around. Oh, pigeon feels so good. From here, moving into pigeon when you feel ready. So the left knee towards the chest and then turning left knee towards left arm. The foot crosses the body. Can slide back onto a block or stretching through the back hip. The hips come towards the floor. Take your time getting in, navigating side 2 of a very lovely posture. Any variation is welcome, as long as you're able to breathe deeply in and out of the nose. And we did just about 3 minutes on side 1, so we'll continue samesies on side 2. I'll try to talk less on side 2, so if you do the work, focusing your mind, showing up for yourself, every inhale, every exhale. Bring the mind back anytime it wanders, gently reminding yourself to follow the inhale, follow the exhale, follow the feel good. 2 more of your deepest, most committed breaths so far, in and out of the nose, sounding like the ocean. Noticing where the mind goes and knowing that that's why we call it practice, is to bring the mind back, to keep going, to keep trying to focus. Practice, practice, practice. Slowly come out of pigeon as you're ready. Any way you want, you can move through that vinyasa, down dog, child's pose, a combination. You can also transition back to seated or laying onto your back, as that's where we're going next. Moving the body a little bit here, knowing that we are going to be entering Shavasana very, very shortly. You can walk, hop, or jump your feet through to seated if you aren't there already. And then gently recline back, bringing the feet flat onto the floor, about hip width apart. Super nice. The first thing to do when you find this, we're going to move into a little bit of bridging to finish our practice today. So the first thing to notice here is if your feet feel parallel to one another, you can even kind of glance down at them. My feet tend to turn out towards the side, so notice where your feet are, and then once your feet feel good, hands come down just where your shoulders can relax, palms face down. And the first thing to do with the spine is try to flatten the lowest part of the spine into the floor. Sometimes it lifts up. Pull your belly toward your spine, flatten down. You might notice there's a little bit more weight in your feet now. That's good. Keep the knees directly in line with the hips and the ankles. And then gently just roll up your tailbone, your low back. Keep the belly button drawing in and up as you breathe in and out of the nose, and lift as high as you like to hold for bridge. Wherever you feel comfortable, breathing in and out of the nose. And the option to also interlace the fingers underneath the body, tucking the shoulders back and opening the chest a bit more here. Any variation you like. We'll stay for a couple more breaths, filling the lungs and emptying the lungs with every inhale and every exhale. When you feel ready, exhaling the hips down to the floor with control, low back flat, and then relaxing here. You can wiggle out your hips or tick-tock the knees side to side. We're going to take one more lift in bridge, or if you prefer Urdhvadanyarasana, you can take the variation where everything else starts the same except the arms, bringing the hands flat by the ears. So Urdhvadanyarasana, upward facing bow, is available if you'd like it. We all start the same way by flattening the low back into the ground and just lifting the tailbone first. Feet stay parallel, knees stay parallel, hips come up. Once you're there, if you're going to go Urdhvadanyarasana, pressing into the hands to the top of the head or lifting all the way up off of head and shoulders. Breathing wherever you're at for a few breaths. Soften the face, use Mula Bandha. And if you're still lifted, coming back slowly from top of the spine to the bottom, all the way back to the floor. I'll offer once again hugging the knees to the chest, or perhaps this time taking happy baby if you like, flexing the feet towards the ceiling and drawing the knees towards the floor, rocking side to side, or finding stillness. Any posture you want after back bend is welcome. I was thinking we also have flow down as a class, and flow down would be really nice if you had a full hour after a surfing or athletic practice or an exercise routine or sitting in your chair all day at work. Flow down is a little slower than this, less fire, and it's really relaxing. Even before bed, it would be nice. Anyways, release your feet, just lifting them up towards the sky and shake them out like jellyfish. So in jellyfish, we try to relax the muscles of the legs like you're trying to shake them off of the bones. Think keeping things as loose as possible, wiggling stuff around, jiggle is good. You can do the same with the arms and the hands. It doesn't matter what it looks like. I call it jellyfish, but you can call it whatever you want. And once you feel like you wiggled it out a little bit, you can bring yourself to reclining for Shavasana, knowing that if you prefer to have your feet up, either with the knees bent, my feet would be on an invisible chair right now, or an invisible couch just resting there, or up the wall. You could do that instead. I'm going to take a traditional Shavasana laying on my back. Laying on the side or the belly is also available here. As you enter Shavasana, our final resting pose, the important thing is that you're comfortable. So if you're comfortable with the eyes closed, that's encouraged. If not, you can try to hold the gaze really softly, but in one space, not allowing the eyes to wander. Palms face up if they can. And then we release the breath in the body. So stop putting effort into breath and body. A nice way to do that is to just watch the breath as if your mind is separate from the breath itself. You're just observing the breath. And the breath might change as you do this, because we're going to stay here for just a couple of minutes, watching the breath as it relaxes into an automatic state. As the body becomes restful, the breath becomes slow, maybe even shallow. And once again, if you need a physical focus, you can focus on any part of the body that feels good right here, right now. Perhaps scanning the body for all of the parts you can find that feel good. And encouraging yourself to rest here for just a few minutes. Gently begin to guide your mind back to the breath if it's not there already. Just watching the breath, noticing it, trying not to put any effort or control on the breath, just observation, pure and simple. As you begin to just notice the breath, notice what it feels like, notice what parts of the body are moving with the breath, even if very gently and lightly. Notice if you can sense the beat of your own heart. Notice any other sensations in the physical body, whether it's the back of the body resting on the mat, or any air exposed to the skin, perhaps any energy moving around within the nervous system, the digestive system, the muscular or the skeletal system, and bringing yourself into an awareness of your whole body, physical, mental, and spiritual, feeling all three bodies, however many bodies you imagine yourself having, coming into a space of union, and allowing yourself to follow the feel good once again as you start to deepen the inhale and the exhale very gently through the nose, filling the lungs all the way up and emptying them all the way out. A few more deep and intentional breaths here in your physical body. Taking the feel good with you as you begin to exit Shavasana or final resting pose, only if you feel ready. So if you want to stay here for longer, you know you can. If you're ready to start to move, wiggle your fingers, toes, or move around your face, maybe shake your head side to side. Gently start to wake up the physical body, bringing all parts of yourself, maybe turning over to one side, eventually navigating your way back to a comfortable seat. There's absolutely no rush to get there, so you can take as many breaths and movements as you need. When you do rise again, no rush to get there, but when you find yourself in a seated position, give yourself a moment to stack through the spine, soften through the shoulders, and then either allow the hands to rest once again on the legs or bring the palms to touch in front of heart center, palms and all 5 fingers touching on each hand, the thumbs gently resting near the heart. And I'll finish class today with Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, followed by the sound of one Om. You're welcome to join me or to listen. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you for practicing with me today and all days. Thank you for being a part of the team, whether you're in yoga teacher training, whether you're a Grateful Yoga Studio member, whether you're my mom. Thanks for being a part of the team. And don't forget to leave a comment about class, send me a message, book the flight. Yeah, whatever it is, let me know if you need anything. Happy to hear from you, happy to help, and most of all, really just happy that you're practicing yoga and taking some time to do some cool stuff. If you are an athlete, let me know what you thought about the practice, if you liked it, if you would change it, if you want more, if you want less. If you're somebody who sits in a chair all day, same thing. Let me know how this felt. I really feel like this kind of practice can be accessible to all people in one way or another. So, peace, love, and happiness from the Dominican Republic. Hoping to see you really all soon. Adios, amigos. Have a great day.